So not only are you in this next chapter of yourself, like it's not, this reading isn't like, okay, what's the next chapter? The next chapter is the now chapter, that you've already entered the next chapter, and that you're not fully aware that like, wait, I already have changed. I already am the thing. So this reading and this message is all about, it's not about freaking waiting anymore. It's not about you're almost there. And if we pick the freaking almost there card, I'm going to have to rethink what that actually is asking us to think about, because you're not almost there. You're already there. And like, it is now the moment of you're being asked to embody that you are in the next chapter, that you've already graduated to this next level. But there's a few things that are so powerful that have been coming up a lot lately. Who has been following me around with my clients, sending me pictures, bringing this up, people just bringing it up. The images are just like everywhere for me. There. Now, one of the most interesting things for me about studying Bear is that when she is hibernating, she's not totally out of it. And this might be different for certain species, but with like, let's say the black bear, she is semi-conscious, okay? And she gives birth while she's hibernating. She's semi-conscious and she's giving birth. So within this next chapter, and what this next chapter wants you to know, is that there's something that, like, you are in this next chapter, but this next chapter also involves giving birth to something, and that it's much easier as long as you relax. There's something, because let's look at this. She is in a relaxed state, making her birthing process so much easier. She's semi-aware. She has to be semi-aware to make sure, to help with the nursing and all this stuff. But she gives birth in this semi-conscious state, and which means she's relaxed. And then she's just kind of in the semi-conscious state, cuddling with the cubs and nursing and this and that. But there is something so important that this next chapter wants to share with you, that it's not about resisting anymore. It's not about the wanting anymore. It's just this allowing, like allowing everything to unfold, and not trying to be the dictator or controlling it so much, or the desperation that it's all already here, that you're in this, you're ready for it. You're ready for this next thing. And there's something that has been gestating and is in this moment that you're ready to give birth to. And it's so easy and fluid because you're not resisting anymore. So, I'm Cara Elizabeth. I'm the author, illustrator, and creator of Animal Apothecary card deck for manifesting, for overcoming tests and difficulties, and for becoming your greatest self. So we're gonna obviously be using this deck, and then be pulling from my new Body Tech deck, which gives wisdom from the most sophisticated technology that we have on hand, which is our bodies. So, this deck is still in the making, but this one you can purchase anywhere, Amazon, anywhere, Animal Apothecary. Okay, so let's get to it. I want us to connect, and we're going to be asking these different aspects of these things that I'm actually going to write one thing down. So we're going to be asking the next chapter. We're going to be asking unknown, because, the next chapter, there's all this unknown in it. We're going to be asking the aspect of you who owns, they already are. And let's just get into it. Okay. But before we get into it, I just want you to kind of, if you need to pause this and just think about your next chapter, if you want to journal about it, if you want to just who is this next chapter of me? And how am I already kind of them? who is this? So that like really gets, for all of us connecting right now and putting that energy out there. And whenever you're watching this, it doesn't matter. Your thoughts transcend material, time, and space. So like, even just saying, like, all of us just say right now, like, next chapter of me, like, what do you want to share? But if you want to think about it and pause and just like go there with like, what is this next chapter of you that you're already in? So first, we're just going to ask the next chapter, any love, any wisdom, any guidance it wants to share with us. So just open yourself, say it out loud. Next chapter, what do you want to share with us? All right. And within the next chapter, there's clearly unknown. So unknown energies, what could be really helpful for us right now? So just ask out loud or in your head, next chapter, what do you want to share with us in the unknown? What is the unknown part that would be helpful? Some wisdom in this unknown. Okay, now we're gonna connect to the part of us who like owns, like, I am the next chapter. I am. And the cool thing is we're at the beginning of the next chapter. So that's why there's so much unknown. So asking the part of me who embodies and knows that I am in this next chapter, what does that empowered, embodied self want to share with me? Now we're going to ask the thing we're giving birth to, any wisdom, anything that you want to share with us, the thing we are giving birth to. What are we giving birth to, and what wisdom wants to share through this thing we're giving birth to? And then what do we have to look forward to? What can we look forward to? What guidance about what we should be looking forward to? And then we're going to connect with our bodies and just really, we're going to pull 3 cards from our bodies and just the sophistication of what our body wants to share with us with this next chapter of ourselves. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, cool. All right, so amazing. Interesting enough that the next chapter we get chicken heads. This is a direct message from our next chapter that says there's a lot of like head chatter. There's a lot of just talk, just like, sorry, but it's malarkey and it's BS. And there's a lot of chatter that's maybe distracting you. See how it like this target over the person's head, and it's like the chicken just balking away, just like spewing kind of nonsense. And the person is so hypnotized and they're just like in the hypnotization. Like, I've just been hijacked by like the idiocracy of like whatever this story is telling me right now. So your next chapter, and I just want a little bit more wisdom with this because it's like, get out of your head. And in that getting out of your head, it's all about allowance, right? Like, we're just allowing this to unfold, and that there may be some stories coming up that is like a block, like it's this resistance to this next level of ourselves. So next chapter, like, can you just share a little bit more wisdom? Okay, you want us out of our heads, but next chapter, what? Oh! Okay. This is so freaking cool. So it's like, get the F out of your head, excuse me, because you are in alignment, you are on your destiny path. And this is like acting as a little bit of a, no pun intended, because cock-a-doodle-doo, a cock block. Totally, the thoughts are being the cock block. I hope that doesn't like get, I don't know how deep YouTube goes with like its censoring, but there's that happening right now. And you are it's like you're already on your path. You do have this, the bee, you have this gift that you're meant to share. The king snake, you are able to turn your traumas and your tests and your difficulties and your darkness into your freaking light, and probably make it kind of lucrative for you too. Like, you're good. But it's just like there's this insistent chatter of malarkey that's balking at you, and it's just, it's just silly. It's just kind of a joke at this point, because you are on your destiny path. All right, so what does the unknown want to share with us? So we get the Metamorphosis card, which is really cool because recently I was listening to this one guy, and apparently scientists have discovered that there's this moment where the caterpillar, going through this transformation, this metamorphosis, the caterpillar genes resist the butterfly genes. So there is this resistance that is a normal part of the process of you leveling up. Oh, I like how I'm using this pen now as a diagram. Exhibit A, we have the caterpillar, and then exhibit B, we have the flying butter. So this talks about there's this in-between metamorphosis phase, and that there's the old part of you who's going to hijack you and be like, no, we're not doing this. No, I am resisting becoming this new version of myself. But the butterfly genes, if I'm understanding this correctly, the more of these genes that come, they eventually kind of overtake the caterpillar genes. And it's like, so this is about you becoming more and more and more of your true self, of this next level of yourself on your destiny path, that the lower or the last version of yourself can't maintain it anymore. So there is a part of this resistance, but the unknown is although resistance is a part of of your growth process, it is also asking you that you don't have to keep resisting anymore. Remember, let's go back to the bear. The bear spoke to us about easy birth. You don't have to resist. There's no pain. This story wants to keep you in caterpillar world, right? And it's it's futile to even resist, because your highest next level of you, this next chapter, who is butterfly, is I'm just becoming me and me and me and more of me and more of me as this butterfly that you can't really take over anymore. But you don't have to, and I think talking about resistance is a tricky thing, because just now I feel like I am learning that my entire existence is resisting everything. This happens, I don't like how that makes me feel, so there's a resistance to feeling that feeling, even though eventually at some point I'll feel it, and even though it is my reaction to everything that feels some type of way is me resisting that. So now I've been working toward, feeling the resistance. It's let me feel that I'm resisting this now. And it almost works as in I feel the resistance, and it allows the feeling to just go through me and on to the next thing. So, you're transforming. You're clearly, the unknown is and the thing with the fact that the unknown is sharing this with you is that there is something so unknown about this process, but you're already in this birthing process of yourself, and that there was resistance, and that it's time to just let it happen. Just stop feeling like you have to control, stop feeling like you have to know the next move. It's all freaking happening. Each step is revealed to you as you take the step. What your, I love this because, okay, so the part of you who's already embodied that, like, I already am in this new chapter, I'm already am becoming butterfly. Like, maybe I'm not flying yet, but you better damn believe that I am butterflying it up. And like, I am in this process of embodying this next level of myself. And it says prayer answered. And I'm going to skip to one of the body cards that we get that says become the prayer. So like a double whammy confirmation that, and honestly, I mean, like, okay, I created both these decks. They kind of mean exactly the same thing. So, the buffalo. So if we look and study centuries ago, the different tribes within the Plain Indians peoples, and a lot of them, you know, buffalo was life. It was sustenance. It was food, it was shelter, it was toys, it would, even the herds would create the stampedes would create divots in the earth that allowed water to flow through. So it was this source of life with a capital L. So different and many different tribes would do these buffalo prayer dances, and often they would look like they would have a member of the tribe dancing with someone who would dress up as buffalo, and they would be in unison, and they would be in this oneness, and this prayer, this dance, this ceremony was acting as if their prayer was already answered. So then they get in alignment with that prayer by acting as if the prayer is answered. And then, you know, then they go on and they take the action towards hunting buffalo, and they're already in that alignment. So this is, for me, as a person looking from the outside, I'm like, holy moly, this is like genius. Like, their prayer, their ceremony before they go on the hunt is acting as if it's already, they're literally embodying it. So the part of you who's like, I already am the thing, I already am in the next chapter, I'm the version of me who freaking owns that and embodies that, is like, act like that's it. Like, all you have to do is act like your prayer has been answered. All you have to do is become your freaking prayer. Like, know that it, and this card, become the prayer, the guidance and wisdom is actually coming from the prayer in your heart. And the prayer in your heart says, the way you activate me is you become me. You become the living, walking, breathing prayer. And even if you don't see it in the 3D world, you become the prayer. And then your prayer is freaking answered. And then, like, God and life and everything you're praying to outside of yourself, who is also in you, is like, that's how you answer. Like, it's you answer your own prayer, is you become the freaking prayer. This is like, and I'm sure there's so many different mystical ways of prayers being answered, but life is like, one awesome thing that I gave to humanity was act like your prayer has been answered, and then your prayer is freaking answered. Okay? And that's why it's genius that these peoples, they had that wisdom and they did it and they embodied it. So I love that this is the guidance coming from the aspect of you who is already embodied and knowing that they're in the next chapter, is literally like, yeah, duh, just act like it. Just be it. Like, become your answered prayer. Become your answered prayer. So the next card is guidance from what you have given birth to. Oh my God, I love this. And if you saw the April reading, and it was all about eagle and stepping into this next level of ourselves, eagle, you are more. You are stepping into this next level of yourself, of finally freaking honoring how powerful you are. When eagle comes around, it is one of the most revered and honored birds. And it is one of the birds that flies highest to the sun. It is just such a majestic creature. And it's like, you are this creature, but you haven't owned it. And this next chapter of you is the embodiment of honoring that you are freaking eagle, that you are this powerful creature, and that you are this gift. and that like it's time for you to own it. And that is what you're giving birth to, is finally owning who you are, and finally owning this self-worth, this level of worthiness, this level of like your power and abundance within yourself. And it's just like you finally freaking, I love that that's what you give birth to. Like, how amazing is that? So what can this say again about like what the prayer answered, becoming the prayer, is that you are giving birth to this next level of yourself that finally freaking honors how powerful they are. But then it's saying, so now you have to become what you're giving birth to. Interesting. Because you already are the thing. It's not, again, remember the big message was like, it's not outside of you anymore. It's not this thing you've been waiting for. And that's why it's taken so freaking long, because you always think another like thing, you're almost there. And I am so guilty. I am so freaking guilty of being like, you're almost there. You're already almost the thing. But maybe we were always almost there. Maybe this is finally like, now we're ready to embody it. Like maybe in these phases of my readings, it was like, for whatever reason, we weren't ready to hold this next level of ourselves, and we were being prepared and we were waiting, but now it's like, we're finally there. And that's why the message is so much like, you can't wait anymore. This isn't about waiting. You already are the thing. So the next one was what we have to look forward to. And we have one really cool card, but I just think there's more to this story. So I'm going to pull two more cards. What we have to look forward to. Just say it out loud. What do I have to look forward to? What do I have to sing it? What do I have to look forward to? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we'll start with these two cards. This was the first one we pulled. Focus on the big picture. We see this like breakthrough happening of someone coming, and the image what I created is they're coming out of the ego. They're finally honoring that, although this is not a eagle, but it's a hawk, visionary, a leader, and that we are a light bringer. We are here to shine, and that we're focusing that we are here to shine our light on our gift that we are meant to share with humanity. And then we say, see beyond the past. So it's almost, again, a reiteration of honoring who you freaking are. So this whole card is about the ugly duckling, who is this beautiful swan, baby swan who hung out with ducks, and they made fun of him because he didn't look like a freaking duck. So he grows up, becomes this beautiful swan, unique black swan, and then still somehow in the reflection mirror of the water sees his hurt child self. And he only sees himself through the eyes of that. And it's like, are you serious? You're this like most majestic, graceful, beautiful creature, yet you think you're like this pathetic, puny form. That's not good enough. So we see, what we have to look forward to is finally freaking honoring. Yeah, it's like this. It's saying what we have to look forward to is what we're giving birth to, is stepping into honoring this next level of ourselves and embodying that we are this majestic, beautiful creature. And that the guidance, though, because we also have, you are what you think. So pink flamingo starts off white, and then for like about 3 years is eating pink krill and slowly becomes pink. So this is this idea that you slowly become what you're ingesting. And we're talking about that on a metaphysical level of like your thoughts. It's not even metaphysical. I mean, maybe it is. It's freaking science. Like, you are what you think. So we're coming out of this kind of seeing through the, oh my God, that's what we have to, holy crap. are we coming out of decades for some of us, of the prison of limiting beliefs? Holy moly. And like, what is this holy moly I keep saying? So this, it's like, what we're arriving into is finally this embodying this visionary leader who is focusing no more on some old illusion chicken head story that hypnotizes you and keeps you in small space. It's like open, it's expansive, it's shining your light, and it's shining your light on your gifts that you're meant to serve humanity with. So this is like this guidance, this reminder, like you are what you think. Like, so that needs to be, your thoughts need to embody, like, you are this freaking eagle. You are this like hawk power. You are this light bringer. You are this thing that is meant to share your gifts with humanity to many, many, many people. Now let's get some wisdom from the body tech deck. And so there's something that your light is being activated. There's something that has been happening through quite some time. And this card is still evolving. So it's something that I'm still kind of like understanding. Okay, your light is being activated is a couple things. Like one, it's talking about triggers. How triggers are really light triggers. Triggers are just here to show you what's blocking your light. That's all it is. It's this thing that's like, oh, here's something you're holding on to that is blocking you from fully shining. And that there's been this thing that you've been kind of like going through, and whatever you've been dealing with in these, like, I don't know, I feel like it's almost like since maybe, I think it's different, obviously it's different for different people, but it could be for the last year, it could be since the fall. There's just something that was difficult, and that was a part of you leveling up. So look at the DNA and how this DNA is being activated, and how we talked about, like, there's the caterpillar genes and then the butterfly genes. It's like there's these things in you. Your butterfly gene has been being activated through this like last year or so, 6 to 12 months, to level up into this next phase of you. So that is what the thing that your body is sharing with you, that all this was not, it was for the activation of this next level. Those things that were really difficult, those things that didn't work out, those rejections, those disappointments, those bouts of depression or fear were activated because they're the thing that activates the higher level of yourself. And that one of your biggest things right now is declaring and choosing who you are. I choose who I am. It is, and like, are you choosing to be the chicken head who sees themselves through the eyes of the hurt self? Or are you choosing to embody and become the prayer that you're not only just butterfly, but you're the freaking eagle, you're the unique black swan? And it's a declaration of like, this is who I am. This is who I am. I am no longer letting anything outside of myself dictate who I am. No matter how much this person might not come up to me, or this person might reject me, or I don't see the money yet, all that whatever BS. You declare who you are, and you stop letting outside life define anything that you think about yourself. It's almost like taking back your power in a way, because you know how life does reflect back to us how we feel about ourselves. But then there's this other sophisticated technology of like, I'm gonna stop letting my perception of how I think about what this means about me and I'm going to change the story, and I'm going to tell that thing outside of me what it means about me in a positive way. So it's like, change this, because everything is freaking neutral, and it's you choose, you put the story on it. Like, you're going to either make this about how you are growing and developing and becoming an even greater version of yourself, or how you are a lowly, pathetic loser, or whatever. It's whatever you want to make the story. And then obviously we have become the prayer. So I want to teach you a body technology movement to embody and get ready for this next chapter of yourself. So give me a second. I'm going to come back to you. It's going to be something you're going to practice for 19 days to facilitate this metamorphosis that you are giving, to facilitate the easy birth. So let me just think about this and BRB. Okay, so what I realized in Become the Prayer is that within this next chapter of yourself, right, from caterpillar to butterfly, is that you definitely have some dreams and prayers that you're working towards embodying. But I think the biggest message of what you are in the middle of giving birth to in this next chapter is something that you just can't really fathom. It's better than this like constrictive kind of thought of what it should look like. And you know, visualization toward those things of your ideas, it's great, but it's something bigger that you don't get. And that's cool. So the prayer is actually asking you to pray for this thing that's better than you can imagine, this thing that is a part of your destiny path that you can't quite understand. Let me just rewind about the 19 days. So we need to you're in this chapter, right? You're in this moment of like, we want to help facilitate an easy birthing process. So in this chapter is the birth of this next thing, and it's supposed to be easy, right? It's supposed to be easy. And the birth is this next kind of level of you that you already are, but it's like you're still working through it, and that's why you're giving birth to it at the same time. So the thing that came to me is that this is better than what you can imagine, because the caterpillar could never, ever imagine that it would be a butterfly. So in these next 19 days, why 19? Because we need to just shift around some things, and we need to get our bodies, we need to get our whole everything on board to this transformation of what you're within, what's going on in this next chapter, and to make it easy. So the 19, 1 plus 9 is 10, right? And 1 plus 0 is 1. So it all goes back. So the 19 days is enough to start reprogramming yourself, and to also to change around neuro pathways to get into this next level. Okay, so every day for the next 19 days, there is a prayer for it's no more being super specific. Whatever this next embodiment of this highest level of me, and like opening to it, because that's where the resistance happens when your little human brain is like, I want it this, and I want it to look like this, and I want this to be. So it's like this humility and asking life to assist in this thing that's even better than your limiting thoughts. So there's a prayer, and however you want to say your prayer, how do you commune with life? Is it through journaling? Is it through, this devout surrendering and asking life for help? But whatever that is, you are being asked in this 19 days to ask and surrender to this next chapter of of yourself that is beyond your comprehension, and open yourself to receive this thing that's bigger than what you're currently hoping for, which is so cool. So like, help me open to this next level of something that's bigger. Help me surrender. Help me to stop resisting, whatever the thing is. So you say the prayer, and then for 30 seconds, you can do it longer, you say the prayer. You're going to envision yourself glowing light, like pushing the light, push it harder. Just envision yourself spreading light, like become the light. See yourself as light. And this is where it's really cool. Instead of having these like rigid kind of visualizations of this is the next level of me, and with this, I have this car, and I have this boyfriend, I have this money, and I have this thing, and it's like, like there's something that is information. See how it's like there's information. I mean, DNA is information, but there's some kind of information that like needs to be activated. And I'm thinking, if you can envision your DNA glowing, bingo bango, there we go. You're glowing, your DNA is glowing. Do this 30 seconds to a minute. So you say the prayer to surrender. You're opening yourself to this next, like, to just surrendering to this next chapter of you, whatever is aligned for you, whatever is bigger. Help me surrender, help me open to this thing. I am open, whatever life that you have for this next chapter of me. You say that prayer. Then you sit in silence 30 to a minute, or listen to some cool music to activate you. You see yourself shining light. You activate the light. The light is actually the medicine. The light is also a part of what activates this butterfly metamorphosis. So you see yourself as light, and then I choose who I am. So now we're getting into brainwashing. So you've done the spiritual, the prayer, and now we need to reconfigure how your freaking brain works. So this is based off EMDR, which is a bilateral eye movement they do for people that have had trauma. And the idea that when you look right and left and you speak about and you go through these experiences that you've had, that for people with traumatic past, the trauma sticks and stays. So the idea is that through this lateral eye movement is that it helps you process it. It connects your right hemisphere to your left hemisphere. It connects to your hippocampus, which calms things. So I've been using this eye kind of movement for manifesting, and for like, instead of just like, let me talk about my trauma, I'm gonna like talk about all the things about who I choose to be. And in that, I'm reprogramming myself. Now, why the hand movement here? So moving hands actually connects to your cerebral cortex, which also enhances like processing and critical thinking and reasoning and all these things. So connecting, you're doing the eye movement, you're doing the like empowering self-talk and affirmations. I'm looking right, I'm looking left, and I'm doing like weird stuff with my hands. Like if you go to my workshops, we're almost like voguing to music, because I like to do this to music. So it might look like I'm doing the right and left. Okay, you find one space on the right side of the wall, and you find another on the left, and you just keep going back. And then you're going to be like, wow, it's so freaking amazing that I have just stepped into this next level of myself. I am this version of me. I am the most empowered version of me. I love how easily everything is, and how I'm able to handle really difficult situations, and I'm allowing myself to process those feelings and let it run through me. And then somehow it always all works out. Everything is all working out. Like I feel trust in life. So you see what I'm doing? I'm saying really empowering things about my life, about myself, and I'm doing this hand movement. So you're going to want to do this for 3 minutes. And this is going to start really amping up, changing your neural pathways, changing your subconscious thoughts. And, you know, even just think, you're like hypnotizing yourself. Think of like the olden days when you would look at the clock from right to left, hypnotizers. So you're doing this back and forth thing. So it's hypnotic too. So I love to listen to music while I'm doing it, empowering, like cool, fun dance music, and do this eye movement and say these empowering things about myself and life. So you first come with humility. You say the prayer, really asking your highest self, asking life to assist you in this transition into something that's bigger than you hope for. Then you're activating from 30 seconds to, and this prayer, however long you want. This prayer, the light activation is envisioning your DNA. Like, go look at some DNA online, look at pictures of DNA so you have a clear crystal picture of it, where you see your DNA lighting up, where you see yourself lighting up the world. See it 30 seconds to a minute. And then you get some fun, cool music or not, and you do some like whatever hand movements, whatever feels cool to you, while you right and left your eyes for 3 minutes, and you say really empowering things about yourself. So we're getting the prayer, we're asking life, we're surrendering, we're activating our DNA, and then we're brainwashing ourselves, right? Because you are what you think. So this is that medicine. And the prayer, and then the like butterfly gene activation. Okay, my friends, I love you. And remember, when you commit to discovering your true self, when you commit to healing yourself, you are a part of the blossoming of world peace. Because when we are standing in who we really are, we no longer can do these things where we destroy Mother Earth and we destroy other people and we destroy other cultures and we are evolving into our highest selves. And on that, when we feel like there's so many scary things happening in the world and how can I help? And there's so many things we can do to help. And one of the ways we can also help bring about world peace is becoming our true selves. So we need you, because you are a part of the oneness of the human family, and your gifts, like you're like, you know, I'm a cell, you're a cell, or you're an organ and you're a bone. And like, if I am not doing my job of what I was created to do, then I cannot assist the entire human body. Like, the whole oneness of humanity is one freaking human body. And if I am an organ in that body, if that's my job, if that's what I was created for, and I am not freaking doing it, I will shut down. I will make it really difficult for everyone else. All the people who are, maybe you're the cell, maybe you're the heart, maybe you're the brain, maybe you're the neuron, maybe you're whatever the freak you are. Like, if you're not living up to your greatest potential, you're blowing it for the rest of the embodiment of humanity. So please, you got this purpose, and it is of the utmost importance that, like, we need you to be you. Okay, I'm Cara Elizabeth. Definitely grab yourself a deck. It's on Amazon. It's everywhere. Animal Apothecary. And if you're working through trauma, sign up for my trauma gold workshop. It's all about how I transmuted my trauma into my greatest self, and 3 steps of how I did that. One of them is this brainwashing technique, but it's pretty inexpensive. So if you want to turn your greatest pain and difficulties into fulfilling your purpose, then that is the workshop for you. Anyways, I love you. World peace for freaking ever.